Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I am really sorry for the delay. Actually, something wrong with my phone, actually. Okay. Everybody can hear me? Just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
switch on your cameras quickly. Okay. All right, great. Okay, guys. So, what we discussed yesterday, anybody of you would like to
Yes, ma'am.
tell me,
We
please?
discussed about
Mm-hmm.
communication skills and observation.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And how do we improve that? What exactly needs to be done?
You were talked about how to get a positive attitude into life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we also discussed that you need to spend some time in a whole day
Ma'am,
to do
personal
something
development, ma'am.
productive. I'm sorry?
Personal development.
Yes. So what you guys have done yesterday just to make yourself feel good? Somebody said they like painting, somebody said they like cooking, somebody want to do something. So just let me know what exactly you guys did yesterday. Who will start?
Painting,
Who
drawing.
who did the painting?
Not painting, ma'am. Drawing.
Who did that? You did that?
Just yes, ma'am. Parvati.
Okay, Parvati, can you show that to us, please?
Make the light a bit wider. Can you wait?
Okay, guys, just let me know. Every one of you have done something or the other yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, what have you done and how did you feel about it? Please let me know because it's really important for me to know. Somebody said they love dancing. Who said that?
Ma'am, yeah. Can I?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, literally, I done my dance today in the morning session, and I went
Okay,
for the
great.
studio institute, and I literally
Uh-huh.
enjoyed very well and felt very sad because I have stopped my dance since from 2 years. So I
Oh,
just got back
naturally.
the
Who's
words.
that? Who's that? I mean, first of all, tell me your name as I cannot
Sahiti,
see.
ma'am,
Sahiti.
Sahiti.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Sahiti. So you felt really good about it, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So the beginning of the day was like so positive to you. Are you
Yes,
feeling
ma'am.
any difference today? I mean, in your behavior, in your
Absolutely,
day-to-day
very
things which you
different,
do.
ma'am. Yeah,
There is a difference, right?
yeah, yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So that difference, I want each one of you to feel. So you will feel only if you do something which you really, really like to do. Okay? So those who have done it, as you can see, she has done it and she's feeling very uh, good about it. I want each one of you to do the same thing and feel good about yourself. In spite of doing anything or do your day-to-day things, you should do something which you really like and trust me, you will feel the difference. You will feel more happy, you will feel more good about it. Okay? So those who have not done it so far, please start doing it from today itself. All right? So yesterday we talked about observation, communication. First we talk about learning and then observation and then communication. Do you guys have any kind of query in your mind, any kind of question, anything you want me to explain? Because today we will start with a new module. Anything you want to ask me, anything you want to share, just go ahead. So yesterday I got a text from a very lovely student and she said that she really liked the session, the topics which we were discussing yesterday. I just want to know, is that useful for you, all of you? Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
feel the same way?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
definitely.
ma'am.
Absolutely. Okay, great, lovely. Because till the time you guys feel that there's why she's talking about this, this is not even important. This is not even, part of the course which you will do in the future. But these things are actually very, very important, and you really need to inculcate these things in your day-to-day life. So that's why there's a proper course or a topic on this one particular thing. All right. So anything you want to discuss, anything you want to say, anything you want to share, you ask me question, or shall we proceed? Say something, guys. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay, great. So today's topic is empathy. So guys, what do you understand by empathy? Please tell me. What do you understand by
Sharing,
empathy?
understanding about the feelings of the other person.
Yes. So actually it is about understanding the feelings of the other person. So yesterday we were talking about communication, observation, and all those things, right? But empathy is the thing that what exactly you feel, if the other person is feeling some pain or going have something wrong with his or her health, have some health issues, you can maybe you are not in her situation in the other person's situation, but you feel the pain what they are going through, right? So this is what empathy is all about. So the ability to understand and share also. So the ability to understand and share the feelings of the other person is actually means empathy. Okay. So empathy, why it is important in our day-to-day life? Why we need to empathize for something which the other person is feeling. Why we need to empathize?
Because to
Anyone?
understand the yes, ma'am. Because to understand the feelings of the other person, what they are getting from us.
Okay. Anyone else?
That's the least we can do, ma'am, to understand other people.
I can't hear you. Sorry. Could you please speak a little louder?
That's the least we can do to help other people. That's the least.
Exactly. It's empathy is important because as I said, it makes us, it helps us to understand how the others are feeling, so that we can respond accordingly to that situation. So if somebody is saying that I am, I'm having pain in my stomach, and it's a very severe pain, so if you will understand, only then you will empathize, only then you will respond properly what you're supposed to do at that very moment. Okay. So I'll give you an example of empathy. For example, at your work, in an office, there are two co-workers, and one has a very so much to do to, and the boss is asking to finish this work till the weekend. Okay, and you cannot help the other person because you are not in the same profile. You don't know what exactly needs to be done. So you cannot help that way. How will you help? How will you make him feel? How will you empathize towards him? And how will you make him feel good about this thing? He has a lot of burden. He's supposed to work on Saturdays and Sundays also, so that he can submit his report on Monday. How will you empathize? What will be your way to empathize? Any one of you.
Talking and listening to them.
He doesn't have time to talk and listen. He's so busy in his work, and he is not even interested in talking to you. He will say that let me do my work first because I'm supposed to submit it, and I have to work on Saturdays and Sundays also. My weekends are already gone. Yes, of course you can talk, you can listen to the other person, but what actually will make him happy? What will be your action?
Offer to help.
You cannot help because you don't know what exactly he's doing, because his profession is different and you do something else. Any one of you guys, please come on quickly. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's very right actually. So what you do is how you can make the other person feel good You can make him involved in doing things. For example, if you have a friend in the same department, right? If he or she is your friend, you can ask him or her to help that person, right? Because they know what exactly they do. So the people who are in the same profession can help each other. For example, if I'm not well today, so I can ask someone else to take the class for you, right? Because I cannot talk that much for today, so I'll ask the other teacher to come and take the class. And that's very nice of the other person who will take my class today. So similarly, you can also, walk up to them with food at the lunchtime. You can sit with them, you can have food, and you can say them that, I'm, I can understand that you are very busy, and let me know if I can be any kind of help to you, right? Or even if the weekends, if he or she is working, you can go to the office with a coffee and you can offer them, coffee just to make them feel good that someone is there for me. Whether he or she cannot do the same work, but somebody is there, right? Why we share things to the other person? Because most of the time it is just, if you share the things, you feel good about it. If it was not a good day, it was not a productive day for you, you go back home and you sit with your mom, dad, and you share that what exactly happened. After that, they will console you, they will empathize you that it's okay, that's fine, it's a part of life. One day is good, one is bad. That's fine. Tomorrow you will get up. It's a new day for you. You will do better tomorrow. And those things you actually want to listen. I mean, it's not like you don't know these things, but if you listen it from someone else, you feel really good about it, right? So sharing and listening to the other person is very important. Similarly, patience. You know, in the profession in which we are, we supposed to empathize to each and everyone, even if they need empathy or not. You're supposed to make sure the other person, you know, that you are listening to the other person. The other person is very important. Whether I'm talking about you are in an aircraft and a passenger it comes to you and start telling you something that this is what happened to me. Most of the time it happens because on long flights, passengers are tired of sitting. So they come at the back and they talk to you. And if they talk to you, they start talking about any random things like what happened, how I boarded the flight, I came from here, I landed in Delhi and then I took another flight and it was very hectic and, I just want to eat something and if you can serve me anything right now. Or even if they don't want to eat anything, they just stand and they just want to talk to you. That is the time when you will listen to them and make them feel important that yes, you are listening to them and these people are very, very important. Okay, so here the empathy part plays the role. Once on my flight, what happened? I'll tell you, I'll share an incident. We were about to take off. We were taxiing. Taxiing means we were from the parking bay, the aircraft comes to the runway. So the aircraft comes to the runway on a very slow pace, right? So on the runway, then we reach the runway and then we take off. Okay. So while taxiing, when the aircraft was coming from the parking towards the runway, the lady, everybody is supposed to sit down, doors are closed, seatbelts are fastened. Cabin crew was just doing the doing the securance check that everybody has fastened the seatbelts and everything is secured and all those. And then cabin crew is supposed to go and sit back on their seats. So we sat on our seats. I just saw one lady coming towards me, she's just running towards me and she just said, कि मुझे उतार दो, मुझे घर जाना है. So most of the time, this happens very oftenly on, flights. So most of the time, it's because of the panic attack. Panic attack, what is panic attack? That means people are scared of flying. Okay. Guys, now I can see you. Can you please switch on your cameras? Because this is really very weird while talking to a blank screen in front of me. Okay, yes, I can see Alina. Hi, Alina, how are you?
Dear fine, ma'am.
Great. Okay, so most of the time it's panic attack because passengers are scared of flying, and once the aircraft door closes and aircraft starts to move, the panic attacks take over and they want to get out of the aircraft. So we just need to console them. So I thought this is also a case of panic attack. So I was just asking that lady, ma'am, please calm down. What happened? Just let me know. I got up from my seat and I just asked this lady to sit down, and I was trying to console her, and she said, "No, मेरे को घर जाना है." And she was shouting, and I said, "Ma'am, क्या हुआ है?" So she said, "My husband died, and I want to go home. I cannot fly." So in this situation, this is a very awkward situation. You don't know how to, say anything to a person, to a lady whose husband just died, and she got a call from home, and she cannot fly, and the flight was going to San Francisco from Delhi, and she actually came from Punjab, and she did some via flight, and then she has to go back. So in this situation, if something happens to passengers family member, or some mishap happens, we cannot ask the passenger to sit, and just to take the flight. We're supposed to deplane that passenger no matter what, because he or she is not in the mind frame to travel, and it's a 16 hours of flying time from Delhi to San Francisco, and that was not a short flight, and she cannot come back so quickly also. So she's supposed to go back. So in this case, as I said, I cannot do much about it. So I just consoled the lady. I said, "Okay, ma'am, just give me 2 minutes. Let me talk to the captain, and let me see if what is his decision, because at the end, captain's supposed to decide what he wants to do." So I calmed that down lady, and I asked her to sit. I called the captain and I said, "Captain, this is the situation, and lady cannot fly. She's shouting. She just want to get out of this aircraft." Captain was very nice. Captain said, "Okay, if she cannot fly, we will take the aircraft back and we will deplane the passenger." And it took us like 10-15 minutes while coming back to the parking bay. Doors will get open and then the passengers will deplane. And then only this lady is supposed to deplane. So she, because she was from Punjab, she was speaking in Punjabi, and I also know Punjabi somehow. So I was talking to her in Punjabi. So I was asking, Mom, what exactly happened? She said he was not well. So I supposed to go because she has that PR of US, and those who have the US PR, they're supposed to go back to US within a span of 6 months. They're supposed to go back and then they can come back. And she said I was going there, and after 2 days I was coming back because I know my husband is not well, so he needs me. But at the same time, if she will not fly, then there is some, government regulations, and then they will cancel the PR or something like that. Something happens. She might need to pay the fine also, a big, huge amount of fine, which she wants to avoid. That's why she was flying. And I said, okay. And, I called. She cannot even talk over the call. So I just took her phone and I was talking to a family member, and I said, okay, we are taking back the aircraft and we will deplane her, and all the situations I was explaining her. And at that time, I said, I was just trying to console that lady, and that was very important. I cannot being a human. I mean, even if you guys tell me, if you were there on the flight, you cannot say that to that lady, you know what, you just sit down. We will see what we can do automatically, because we are human beings, we have feelings, we have emotions, so automatically it comes through that you feel so sympathetic, empathetic towards that person, that this is actually really bad happened to her. She could not get time to say goodbye to her husband, right? And that is really a sad thing. And she was crying like anything. That was a very awkward situation at the same time, but if you are in that situation, you can't help it. You have to face that. You have to console the other person. So yeah, I tried my level best, and all the other cabin crews also. I was talking to her because she was speaking Punjabi, and I understand Punjabi. The rest of the crew, they don't understood, but because I could speak Punjabi, I could speak that language. She was feeling more connected to me, and she was, only talking to me because she thought that she is the one who understands me, right? So, in spite of saying anything to anyone, she was talking to me. Maybe if there's some other person who speaks Malayalam, maybe, and we have a cabin crew, and something like that happen, you will feel a connect to the same person who speaks the same language. So she was feeling some kind of connection with me, and she was just telling me in our language that please tell them to let me go. I just cannot fly. This is something really bad happened, and all those things. And I was trying to console her. I cannot do much about it, right? Can I? I cannot, ask her to. I cannot go with her. I cannot. But I make sure that whenever the next first flight, which is to Punjab, which is flight to Amritsar, she will be in that flight. I talk to the ground staff and I make sure that she will fly as soon as possible because she's supposed to be there at that very moment. Her sons were in US and she was going to her sons. Now their sons cannot come back to India like that. All right, it will take time for them also. They will book the tickets and then they will board the flight, and it's a 16 hours of flight. So only she was the one who's supposed to be there. There was no other family member actually. So that was an experience I will never ever forget because I still remember the way she was crying. So these kind of instances happens on board, and you should be very much prepared for that. You will be prepared if you are empathetic towards someone, right? And not only me, not only crew actually, the passengers were so nice and they were ready to, because most of the time what happens, passengers get so rigid and they don't want to take the aircraft back because it's time, one, it's time consuming, second, then there will be a check in the aircraft and the flight will be delayed by 2 to 3 hours. But all the passengers, most of the passengers who were sitting around her, everybody was like, no, just take the aircraft back. She's supposed to go get down off the aircraft. And she deplaned. So these kind of things happens on board and you have to be very, very ready for that. We make you ready for emergencies. Similarly, we make you ready for all those things also, right? So emergency is important, but at the same time, these things happens more frequently than the emergencies. So you should be more prepared for these things, emotionally, mentally, everything. Okay. So not only in cabin crew profession, but if you see, if you are a doctor or you are a nurse, they are also in the same profession where they have to empathize all the time to the patients. They have to understand their pain. They have to make them more comfortable. They have to, if you see few doctors are very nice and if something happens to you, you will say, no, I'll go to that doctor only because that doctor is more empathetic towards you. He will listen to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. So if that doctor is more empathetic towards you, he will listen to you, will make you laugh. You love going to that doctor. And at the other end, there is one doctor who just don't listen to you and just say, you know what, this is normal. This happens to everyone. You just take these medicines and you'll be good to go. You will not feel that empathy. You will not feel that warmth from that person and you will not go to that person again. Why she was talking to me? Because she felt that warmth with me. She felt that, okay, I can say things to her. She will understand me more other than any of one right now here around me. That's why she came to me. And you should be that person where people wants to come to you and talk to you about few things. You have to be that kind of a person. That should be in your personality because the kind of profession you have chosen and you want to fly, you should have these qualities. Okay? Okay. So now empathy is also different types. There are different types of empathy also. So first is emotional. All right. What is emotional empathy? What do you understand by emotional empathy? Any one of you? Okay. So emotional empathy is, when you when you feel the other person's emotions, as if you had caught the emotion. You just understood that, okay, this is what exactly happening to them. And it is probably the first type of empathy that any of us feel as a child. So I'll give you an example. For example, if there's a baby, it's a 2 years old baby. He don't know how to speak. He don't know how to do anything on his own. He just cries, right? But he or she does know his mother, right? So if a 2-year-old baby who doesn't know anything about this world, who doesn't know how to talk, who doesn't know how to say that you are in pain or anything, but when he looks at his mother, he feel that warmth. Or maybe I have seen that myself in flights, uh, if the mother goes to a washroom and they generally ask us to, just have a look at the baby. If the mother and the baby flying alone, there's no other family member. So the mother will ask you to, could you please look at the baby for 2 minutes? I'm just using the washroom. So we will look at the baby. So the time the mother goes inside the washroom, the baby stands outside the washroom. Till the time she will not come back, the baby will stay there only. Why? Because of the empathy. Because he knows that she is my mother and I only need her right now. Nobody else can make me feel so comfortable the way she is. Okay, so if a 2-year-old can understand these things, we are grown enough to understand that what empathy is all about. And it comes from within, from the day we are born. We 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 start recognizing our mother when we don't know anything about anyone. Still, when your mother holds you, when your mother feeds you, when your mother, you know, hug you, you feel that warmth. Even when you can't do the communication, but a mother will understand that what exactly my child wants. If the child is crying, mother knows that, okay, she is feeling hungry, I need to feed her, right? And if she's fed enough, still she is crying, then there is some other problem, and then she will look for something else. That why she's crying? Is she okay, or fever, or whatever? So this comes within from childhood. And if you see, I'll tell you, when the mother come out of the lavatory of that washroom, the smile at the face of the baby, I can't tell you, as if he got something out of the world. And those 2 minutes while she is using the washroom is the more pathetic 2 minutes. And if the child is crying, then it's even more pathetic. You do whatever you want to do. You give whatever he wants. For example, if a child wants a chocolate, right? Before the mother goes to the washroom, she went inside and I offered him the chocolate. The child will say, no, I don't want the chocolate now. I just want my mother. He wants all those things till the time he has his mother by his side. If the mother is not there, he doesn't want anything. He just wants his mother. Did you guys have ever noticed this thing with the small babies? Actually, a child will cry and do whatever for the chocolate, but when the mother is not there, you offer him all the precious things and he doesn't want and he just wants his mother. So this is the best example of emotional empathy. Okay? Okay. Now tell me, emotional empathy is good or bad? It is good to feel like that, or it is a bad thing to feel like that? What is your point of view on that? Tell me.
will depend on the situation.
Okay, so we will take the same situation, the child and the mother. In that situation, it is good or it is bad.
I think it's good.
Okay. Who else? Anyone else would like to give inputs? Okay. Let me, before going further, let me tell you one more thing. There is no good or bad in this world. It's all here in our minds. Okay? And it's all about the situation and it's all about our perspective, our observation. Okay? So my father taught me so many things, I would say. So this is one of the things which I really liked and I share with you. He always said that he always gave me example of two brothers or two sisters or two siblings for that matter, like me and my brother. So two of us stayed in the same house. We both have same parents, right? We we both stayed in the same house for like good 15, 20, 15 years, 16 or you can say 20 years at least. Okay. But even you guys, just imagine your siblings with you, right? You guys have same house, you guys have same parents, you guys have same grandparents, you guys eat same food, you guys go to the same school where you have been, your brother, your younger brother or younger sister going to the same school. Still, you guys have different personalities. Yes or no? One sibling will be very, very aggressive, one will be very calm. In such cases, these things happen. One is aggressive, one is very calm. One is very demanding, the other one is very adjusted. Right? These things are very common. You like something else to eat, he or she likes something else to eat. But why is like that? When you get all the same things, when you get everything is around you is same, then why the two people are different? Anyone would like to answer that?
Individuality. Ma'am, may I?
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead.
Factors like genetics also play a role, and also the birth order, the first child, the second child, or the third child. Birth order also plays a lot of role in behavior patterns, personality development, and the way they are treated. Most of the times, the working parent, or if we see the social life of the parents if they're divorced, how much time they give to the rape procedures, and if what is the family situation, and how each person takes every situation in a different way. So a child will take
Exactly.
some situation in a positive manner, whereas someone might have some attachments towards it. So these
Exactly.
factors will be
Exactly.
discussed.
Very good, Khushi. So exactly, this is all up to a situation. It's all situational. Why? Because there could be a possibility then when you were born, you guys were, your parents were struggling to start a business, job, or whatever the situation is. But when the second sibling came, the you were doing very seen the struggle, but your sibling has not seen the struggle, right? He has seen this lavish life. The day he or she born, he has seen everything good around them, right? So that all depends on the situation. When the first sibling came, she said really well. When the first sibling came, him. But when the second came, second always have an elder one, right? So that's how it. So the first one doesn't know what elder sibling, having this elder sibling is what kind of a feeling it is. But another one, the second one, always know what is this feeling when you have an elder brother or a sister. So that's why the personality traits change, and it all depends on the situations. So you cannot say that this person is wrong and this person is right. It is all situational. If the first one is very calm and the second one is very aggressive, because it's not their fault. It's all on the situation. You have seen everything good around him. And if you ask him to go and, start living on your own or start cutting down on their pocket money or do whatever, they will get angry because they have never seen that. So it's not that they are wrong, it's just the situation. Right? Did you get my point, what I'm trying to say? Similarly, in our day-to-day life, it's all about the perspective. It's nothing wrong and nothing right in that. Okay? So if there's someone, as I've told you, once we start the session, I've told you that if I am very angry today and I don't feel like, giving this session, for example, and if I say I don't want to give this session and I'm very rude towards you guys also. So do not say that, I am behaving very wrong, or it's not about me. That it's just like in day-to-day life, if someone is very rude to you and say, no, I don't want to do this, don't judge that person. Just sit with them and ask them what exactly happened, why you are so low today. Okay? And don't make a perception out of it that she's like that only, she's always angry, she never smiles. And don't make any perception. And this is not anyone's fault, it's just the situation right now. Maybe I had a fight with someone and it's coming out of me and I'm just be angry with you because I cannot show this to someone else, but I can show it to you, so I'm showing it to you. So just don't judge anyone on that. Sit with them, spend time with them. Till the time you will not spend time with the other person, you will not understand that how they feel and how they do stuff in their life. So now, in future, if somebody will come to you and say, she's asking money from his parents, or he is asking money from his parents, and this is not good. Never ever say that, ye to achhi baat nahi hai. You will just sit with them and say, you will make them understand that you don't know what the situation is. You don't know why he is asking money from his parents. You don't know why this situation is arises, because everybody has a number of things to do in their lives and we don't know. We just look at one aspect of them and we start judging them. Don't judge them. Even if someone come to you and say these things, just make them understand that we should not think like that. We should, because we only know one side of the story. Before judging anyone or before giving your inputs, you should know both the aspects. Then it will be a fair decision. Understood? So emotional empathy, it is, you can say it's good and it's bad both ways, because it's good because it means that we can, readily understand and we can feel other people's emotion. And this is actually very, very vital for our profession. We need to, and it is very important, we supposed to feel other people's emotion. That's why it is good. But why it is bad? Because there is a possibility to, overwhelmed by those emotions. We generally get overwhelmed. And because of this overwhelming feeling, we will unable to respond. Sometimes we feel so bad about someone. I don't know if ever this happened to you guys or not, but it happened with me a lot of time where I get overwhelmed with the emotions. And I just lose the, ability to respond. So what exactly happened? I'll tell you, my mother was suffering from, she had like breast cancer and she just went through a surgery. And I am giving you these inputs because this actually my personal experiences in life. touch wood, I don't want to see her on that in that situation ever again. And I hope she will be very healthy throughout her life. I'm sorry. So I've never seen my mother like that. My mother been very healthy all her life. So for the first time, I saw her on in an operation theater and lying down there. No words. I have no strength to go to her and say anything to her. I'm very close to my mother. And that was the thing which I think I will never wanted to see in my life. She's very fit and fine today, and she's healthy, and she's good. But still, if I think about that, I felt so stuck there. I could not go and talk to my own mother because it was overloading of that emotional feeling. And I was, I just saw her, and I was just standing there. I could not say anything, and I could not say anything to make her feel better, you know. And I think that was a very bad thing. I should have gone to her, consoled her, and I should have said, "You're very brave that you have gone through this, and I'm sure you will come back soon and you'll be fine." She's fine these days, and after that, obviously, I talk to her every day. As I said, I'm very close to my mother, and I tell her everything, each and everything, what happens in a day to her. Okay, so that way you can say I'm a mama's girl. Generally, it's mama's boy, but I'm a mama's girl that I discuss everything with her. But that very day is still in my, somewhere back in my mind, and I feel bad about it. That I was just stuck there. I couldn't say anything, but because of that overloaded of those emotions, I couldn't say anything. So that way it is bad. But that doesn't mean you will not be empathize. You will not empathize to anyone. This is bad because you are a very emotional person. If you are a very emotional person and you are a you just keep on thinking on few things, you are overthinker, then it is bad for you. Because even if you see a dog in a bad situation, you will keep on thinking about the same thing. And then it becomes worse for you. So don't do overthinking, but at the same time be emotional. Be emotionally empathize. Guys, did you get my point? Okay. So the other type of emotion is cognitive emotions. So what is cognitive emotion? It's being when you being able to put yourself into someone else's place and see their perspective, which I just told you, that you just, if somebody is explaining you something at what happened at their work, so just listen to them and, try to put yourself in their shoes. That means you just try to think from their perspective, see the things from their perspective. Okay, just don't be an outsider. Don't be a third person and give your opinion. But just think, if you are on that place, what would you have done? Okay, for example, if there is something wrong happened at work and your boss is shouting at you or someone else, your friend maybe, and he's shouting at your friend, and because he has not done his work properly. So you being the third person there, just put yourself in this and that person's shoes and think that if I be on her place or his place, or maybe in both the aspects, your friend's place or your boss's place, because if the boss is shouting at that person, because somebody will shout at your boss also, because the work has not been done. So that's why you always shout at the person of your lower rank. You cannot shout at the person who's at the higher end. For example, I cannot shout at my boss because I know if I shout at him, he will throw me out of the company. Right? So maybe I will come to you and I'll shout at you. Okay? So, similarly, you cannot shout at me, but you can shout at your siblings, the younger one. I feel sorry for them. Because if I'll shout at you, you'll be in bad mood, then you will go, you need to vent out and you will shout at your younger siblings. Because we have to vent out what we are feeling. If we keep there in our minds, in our brains, in our hearts, the next day will be worst. And nobody wants a new day. Every day it should be a good day. So my father always says that whenever you go to bed, just leave whatever, just don't think about what happened in that day. Just think about the positive things around you. Just think about the positive thing that you are alive. That is the most important thing. Even next day, we are not thankful what we have right now, as I was telling you yesterday. So if you get up in the morning, right, you should be thankful. First of all, you should be thankful that you have opened your eyes and you got a new day to see. Most of the people, they get, I have heard so many deaths while sleeping. They got a heart attack and they just gone. They did not get a chance to see a new day, right? So be thankful to God that at least you are alive. The first thing, if you're not alive, all these fights, whatever we are doing, whatever you are getting trained for or whatever I'm teaching you is useless, right? So these all are the struggles of life and we have to do that. We are a part of life. We stay in society and we have to do that. There's no denial about it. But first of all, be thankful for your life, for your health. You are able to, do so many things. Just think about the people, those who are bedridden, who can't get up from their beds, right? Still they are thankful that they can open their eyes. But they cannot walk. You can walk, you have brains, you touch wood, you guys have no problem. I mean, this is so great. Should feel good about those things. Should be thankful to those things. Then see around yourself. Your parents are healthy, your siblings are healthy, even if you're fighting with them, that's fine. But everybody is good in their face, and that is the thing you should be thankful. There are people, those who don't have parents, who don't have siblings, and they feel so lonely in their lives. I feel really sorry for them, and there's more power to them, trust me, because it's very difficult to lead a life without parents. And if you have your parents, I know I sometimes shout at them, you don't know how to do that, let me do that. But somewhere back in my mind, I have the security that there is someone for me. So should respect your parents, should feel good about them, make them feel good, obey them. I know this is difficult, not we cannot do that. We always argue with them and we always say, no, you are wrong, we are right. Respect them. All they want to see you guys successful in life. And they spend each and every penny which they have earned in their life if you need it. So whatever they have right now is for you, right? And whatever they are doing is for you. Imagine if my father has worked so much throughout his life, right? He can sit at home and do nothing because at this age he's not supposed to work, right? And but still I should be very thankful that whatever I am today, if I'm talking to you right now here, it's all because of him. I should be very grateful to him. And my mother, because I was a very, very, very arrogant child, And I used to, if I say I need this, no matter what. Now when I recall those things, I understand that, oh my God, I have troubled my parents so much. I am a different personality now. When I was a child, I was a different personality altogether. So now if I think about them, oh my God, they really had a really, really stubborn daughter. Don't be like me. Be a good child to your parents. Respect them, love them, hug them every day, and just tell them that they are make them feel special. Right? We don't do that every day. I know that. They are important, we know that. They also know that. But we don't make them feel good. Should start make them feel good about whenever you get up in the morning, just go to them, hug them, love them. Even if they're shouting, that's fine because there's always disagreements. If there are, two people or three people in the house, then everybody has their own way of thinking. That's okay, that's fine. There will be disagreements, there will be things, but at the end of the day, they are your parents. You should respect them. You should love them and make them feel important. That is very, very important. And that is the first step which you guys are supposed to do if you want to be a good person in life. And it starts from home. Understood? So we talked about two types of emotions so far. The first one is emotional empathy. Two types of empathy. First is emotional empathy and the second one is, which one is second one?
Cognitive empathy.
Cognitive empathy. The third one is compassionate empathy. So basically they have classified in three types: emotional, cognitive, compassionate. So compassionate empathy is what we usually understand by empathy. That is feeling someone's pain, taking actions to help. It's almost the same thing which we have already talked. So they have differentiated in different types, but at the end of the day, it means the same. It's almost the same. Okay? So, what do you understand by emotional intelligence? Who will explain? Any one of you? Okay, what do you understand? Have you guys heard about this term emotional fool? Guys, switch on your cameras, please. Okay, have you heard about this term emotional fools?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what do you understand by being an emotional fool?
That means they feel very extremely sensitive, ma'am.
Sensitive as in?
Yeah. That means what other persons were telling, they are blindly believing them.
Exactly. So being an emotional fool, that means you always take decisions with an emotional aspect. You don't see the practicality in that. You don't see the the type of execution that you will be able to execute it or not. Just because your friend is saying that means it's true. That means you're emotional fool. People are taking advantage of you by telling you emotional things. It should not be. It's good to be emotional, but it's stupid if you are emotional fool. If you are just agreeing to everything what the other person is saying to you. Don't be an emotional fool. That's where the concept of emotional intelligence comes. Be emotional, but at the same time, be a little practical and don't let others fool you. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, tell me any example of being an emotionally intelligent. Any example, please go ahead.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, first of all, emotional intelligence means the ability to recognize your own emotions and that of others and to effectively manage them. So, an example of emotional intelligence would be, for example, we're in a situation of stress where we cannot figure out what would be the best outcome or best step to be taken. That time we can analyze our mind and understand what exactly the situation is, how am I feeling, and with my actions, what would be the possible consequences and how others might be affected with it. By analyzing it rationally and understanding what we really feel and not acting up in the hype of the moment. That would be
Exactly,
emotional
yes.
intelligence.
Yes, right. Okay. So who will explain me what Kushi just said? Who would like to give your inputs on this statement? Okay, so for example, if you are in a flight, right, you are serving the passenger and suddenly if you had served the passenger a meal, a non-veg meal, okay, you have served one passenger and you came back to your galley, and now the other person is asking you the same meal, the someone else. But by the time you are serving him, you convinced him that you do not have the vegetarian. So he is convinced that okay, I'll have non-vegetarian, right? So then at the same time, the first person came and said, this is really bad. This is such a pathetic food. I really don't want to eat it. You also don't eat it. They don't have good food on board. How will you manage that situation? So you convinced one person to eat that food, and at the same time, the other person came and said, this is a very bad food. I don't want to eat it. How will you manage that situation?
Try it first and
Try what?
the food.
You want to try yourself. You
No,
cannot
ma'am.
eat passengers' food.
No, not me, ma'am. The passenger.
So just imagine. So here comes the concept of cognitive emotion, empathy. So you should, think about with the perspective of the other person. So imagine you are the passenger, or you are in a hotel, or you are in a restaurant where the staff actually convinced you that this is a very good food, sir. You should try this. This is very healthy also. Just say all those fancy things, and then at the same time the other customer comes and say, you know what, this is the pathetic food I ever had. Just don't try it. What will you do? What will be your course of action? Will you eat that food? First thing, just answer me that. Will you eat that food, or will you think that it's not a good option to eat? Well, when you are a vegetarian, okay, or maybe you don't relish non-veg food, someone convinced you to eat that food, and at the same time the other person comes and say this is a pathetic food. How will you feel about it? What would be your reaction to that? First thing.
At first, we also feel the same, right? Because someone else is already tasted it and telling
So
that.
exactly. So you
But
will say, okay, it's better not to eat it. So you will say, no, you know what? Give me vegetarian only. I don't want to eat this non-veg. That's what you will say, right?
ma'am,
Yeah.
only one person said it, right? Around.
So you want the whole flight to come and say only that you will not serve.
No, ma'am. Like only one person said that it's not a good food. Other all people said it was really good. So we shouldn't believe just one person.
Okay. Not a bad point. Of course, you can ask that passenger, you can say sorry to the passenger who did not like the food. First of all, you just say, sir, I'm really sorry. I can, I can understand that you did not like the food. Can I offer you something else? Can I give you something else? I don't want you to starve, right? So just let me know if you want some fruits or if you want some cookies or you want whatever you have right there with you. So if he doesn't want a proper meal, offer him something like a fruit or cookies or anything. Okay? So the one thing is done, right? The another thing is, how will you convince that person to eat that food because you don't have a vegetarian food? Okay, so you will ask that person, so everybody has a different kind of a taste. I don't know your taste. As per me, when I tasted it, because we get the same food as the passenger get. So that's the same food which I get, and I had it and I really liked it. Maybe it's not of his taste. I would request you to eat that, to taste that at least. If you'll not like it, I'll offer you something else. Got my point? So like this, you are not offending the other person. You are explaining them that this is good as per you. Maybe it's not good as per that person because he has a different taste, right? So just try it. If you'll not like it, you're also giving him option at the same time that if you will not like it, I will give you something else. And rest is his choice whether he wants to taste or he doesn't want to taste. If he doesn't want to taste, he will ask you to give him something else, give him something else. But that's how you handle this situation. Okay, I know that imagine this is your first flight and something this like happened, you will be like blank. It's easy to say it here, but when it actually happens to you, that's a different story altogether. You will not get words what to say to that person. So here comes the concept of emotional intelligence. How will you handle that situational intelligently at the same time emotionally? You should be aware of all the things which you have. You should be aware that what all you can offer to that person. You should be aware that what is there in your ovens. You will say to the other person, okay, I can give you this one. And then you will go back and you just look that, oh, you don't have that meal anymore. Then it will piss off the person even more. And you do not want to do that, right? So you should be aware of whatever you have, what situation you are in, and what all you can offer to the other person. This is just an example, guys. Okay, this is a food example I'm giving you, but there are n number of examples where you need to know all the situations, all the aspects, and then you should know how to handle that situation intelligently. Any doubts? Anything you want to ask? Give me some inputs. Just don't listen to me. At least make me feel like you are listening to me.
No, ma'am, no doubts.
Nobody has any doubts. Wow, we have 22 people are here and nobody has a single doubt. Let's discuss something. Let's give a situation to me maybe. Or let's just discuss something. It should be a two-way communication. It should not be downloading only, where I'm just saying and you are downloading. Okay, you guys tell me, have you ever been in such a situation where you are very much confused and you don't know what should I do? Or maybe in an emotional stuck where you could not. Okay, how many of you are unable to express their emotions? When I say unable to express their emotion, that means they can feel the other person, but they don't know how to say it, how to be little empathetic towards someone, what to say, how to choose those words. Any one of you feel like that? Because I used to feel like that before. I could feel the pain of the other person. I could feel that that person is in a problem, but I could not. And I don't know what should I go to them and what should I say to them. I want to tell them that I am with you. I really want to help you, but I don't know how to say it. I don't know the expression actually, how to express those things. Did any one of you feel like that ever in your life? It mostly happens with the introverts. How many of you are introverts?
Yeah.
Do you understand who introvert personalities are?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay, any of you feels like they are introvert?
I'm
They are just
typically
not comfortable with the people. They are just not comfortable with the group of people. They don't know what should I talk, and they want to be recognized at the same time. Are you scared of group of people that you would say, no, no, I just don't want to go there and I'm happy here. I don't want to go and sit and chat with those people.
no, ma'am.
Oh wow, all are extroverts.
No, ma'am.
Oh, that's really good because being an introvert, it's so much of problem because I have faced so many problems being an introvert. So, okay, just don't imagine me sitting at here talking to you right now. I was a different personality altogether. So I used to go and, sit in my parents' room when someone's come and because I just don't want to go in front of them. I just don't want to go and sit with them. And when they ask me questions, I just feel terrified that why they're asking me all these things. This profession has taught me a lot of things. So that's why I don't want it. If there is anyone like me, I would love to help them. Okay. Any kind of challenge which you guys face in your day-to-day life, which you think I should. Okay, one thing, everybody has something in their minds that they know that this is wrong, but still they do it. Right? You know that this habit of mine is not good, but still you do it and you really want to get rid of it. Everyone has one thing, one or the other thing. So I want everyone to tell me at least one thing which they think is bad, but they just can't get rid of it. Let's start with you, Veena.
Ma'am, I think I'm a little tensed or pressured when it comes to something or some activities. So, but first I will try to, complete it with my full, but in between I feel really pressured. I think without that pressure, I would have just completed it better. But that kind of feeling, that tension, whether it is gonna go and come out good or bad, whether it's going to be turned out to be as I was expecting, that kind of feeling, it really worries me sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of like I didn't. I mean, like, I don't know how to say that, but
I understand. So, do you remember we talked about something yesterday?
yeah, I see.
So it happens with everyone because we are overthinkers. I am also an overthinker. I think all the situations in my mind before it ever happened, or if someone asked me to go for an interview when I used to fly. So if someone asked me to go for this interview, I would have think all the possibilities in negative and positive, all the aspects. And I just screw my mind so much, and then it is of no use because eventually whatever supposed to happen will happen, right? So your thinking is doing nothing but just screwing your mind, right? That's why I said yesterday why positive thinking is required, because if you think positive, positive will happen to you. So just don't waste your time on thinking negative things. Even if you're thinking negative, forcefully, you know, tell your mind that, okay, I'm not thinking about you anymore. I'm not thinking about the negative anymore. Because initially you need to mm, kind of force yourself or force your mind to function that way. Only then it will work that way. Otherwise, you will keep on thinking negative, and or maybe you will keep on thinking so much, then but that is of no use. And it same happens with me, and it happens with a lot of us. We think a lot, and that is of no use. We can do a positive thinking, we can do some productive thinking, but just don't think stupid things, right? try to avoid that intentionally. Tell your mind that I'm not going to think this. I will think good things only. I'm not going to think negative things. Okay, Parvati, you tell me now. What do you think is your one habit you want to get rid of?
I'm not being punctual.
Sorry?
Not being punctual.
Oh, that's my problem also. What should we do with that? Tell me.
I also don't.
I'm also very, very, very
Yeah, and also,
annoyed with myself.
this quarantine had made me more lazy too.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are staying home, you don't have any compulsion to go anywhere. So you take your time to get up. You don't get up early. I know. This is my problem also. We will work on that.
Yes, ma'am.
We will be punctual. Tomorrow onwards. Even before saying, I'm thinking, oh shit, I have to get up by 7 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, but let's just try. Let's just try doing it, right? Let's work a little towards it. If you are used to getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning, let's make it 8:30. And once we'll start getting up at 8:30, then we'll make it at 8. Then we'll make up at 7:30. Then we'll make up at 7. Okay, so slowly and gradually, but we will move towards that. Okay, great. Okay, Anjali. Anjali, I can't see you. Can you hear me? Anjali, okay, switch on your camera and tell me what is that one thing which you want to change in your day-to-day life. Anjali, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me. Anjali feels like Ankita, can you hear me? Ankita, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ankita, switch on your camera, please.
Actually, ma'am, there is a marriage in my home.
So you are attending marriage and being online just for the sake of being there, right? So at least enjoy one thing, na? Enjoy the wedding, just don't be online.
Ma'am, actually, I attending my classes.
Oh, then half of your mind is there only in the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Just go and have fun and enjoy the wedding. You can listen to this class on YouTube also, not a big deal.
Yes, actually, after a long time, I attending my house.
Okay. Alright, no problem. Okay, Xavier.
Yes, ma'am.
Xavier, I want to see you. Yes.
Yes, my camera is on.
Okay, Xavier. Do you have any bad habit? I think you are a good girl. You don't have any bad habit.
No, ma'am, I have tension and afraid also.
Oh, you girls are so tensed, I tell you. Each one of you. You have so much tension in your life. You are not even married, so still you have so many tensions. What will I do with you girls? How will I release that tension from you? Tell me. What do you want me to do?
No, ma'am, it's something I have got work to do like that. So if that I have done properly, good or bad, then sometimes that makes me still I'm afraid also. That's
I understand that, Xavier, and each one of you, okay, girl, you have to understand, we all have work, and number of work. Being a girl is not easy. I mean, I don't know how many of you are married, but I've been lucky that ways. I am married, but touch wood, I don't do anything. And I am very grateful to my God for that. I don't have to cook. I don't have to do my laundry most of the time. I really don't have to do anything. I just being lucky, but I understand I have friends, those who do n number of things and they do their work side by side. So they have their work tension, they have their family things going on, and once they go home, they have to cook, they have to do all the household works, and that's really, really a tough life they lead. And most of the girls here, they do that. Okay, so uh, just don't take any kind of inspiration from me from in that case, because I actually don't do anything. Okay, but I want you guys to be self-sufficient, that you don't see, if I'm alone, I don't have to do, I don't have any help at home, then maybe I also have to cook, I also have to do n number of things. So I'm just saying I'm lucky that way, but I don't know for how long it will help me, right? It's not a good thing. So you should understand that yes, there are so many challenges in life you will face. Okay, and just don't get scared of those things, and just don't let those things overpower you. I mean, tensions will be there, but just don't, lose that smile on your face. You cannot change the tensions, you cannot change the things. Things will go on in their, things will be in their way, in your way. You will have difficulties, you will have bumps in the road, but just try to go through that smoothly, I would say. Just, and there will always be a smile on your face. You will always look like a pleasant personality to everyone. Okay? Sure, I don't want to see tension. I don't want to see those frowns. I don't want to see anyone tensed. I want to see everyone smiling and saying, it's okay, we'll handle that. It's okay, we can do that. We have done so much in our life. We'll be able to go through this also. That's okay. If you will have that attitude, trust me, you will feel everything is at ease around you. So you guys will smile all the time? Yes or no? You will smile, and if there is any problem, any tension, anything in your life, I just want to hear that from you, that it's okay, there is a problem, but I know I can handle that. We will handle that and we will go through it. That's okay. That's a part of life. Just don't get stuck to that one thing. That is my point. Okay? And don't let any kind of tension ruin your day. Just keep smiling and say, okay, we'll be able to do that. We'll get through this. This will pass. Okay, Devya? I'm sure you have n number of things to do. You have so many tensions, but it's a part of life, baby. You have to face those tensions. You just can't run away from that things, right? So I always want to see smile on your face. I don't want to see that tension on your face. Okay? So smile. You are the one who smiled the least in my class, You don't smile much. And I want to see you smile. I want to see your teeth while smiling. Yeah, like that. Okay? Good. Okay, who's next? Who is next? Guys, come on. You still want me to take your names. Don't upset me. Yes, Aishwarya, you were saying something. Aishwarya, switch on your camera first. Aishwarya, first thing, I can't hear you properly. Put your earphones a little closer to your mouthpiece. Should be closer to your mouth, and switch on your camera, please. I want to see you. I've never seen you. You're the new student in the class, right?
And actually, there's a lot of baby going on here. That's why.
And I can't even hear you properly. Are you using some kind of earphones, or you're on speaker?
Yes, ma'am. I'm using earphones. Can you hear me now?
Okay, so the mouthpiece of that earphone, just put it near to your mouth because I think it's a little far and I can't hear you.
Can I join from another phone?
Okay, no problem. That's
Ma'am?
okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Satya. Satya, how do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry. I know I'm very bad with that.
Yeah, sorry, it's okay, ma'am. Myself Sahiti.
Sahiti. Oh,
Yeah,
please, I'm really sorry. I really
that's
apologize for
fine,
that.
ma'am.
Okay, Sahiti, tell me what is your bad habit which you want to get rid of it.
Nothing like that, but I just wanna change my intensity towards the other person, ma'am.
Intensity, could you please elaborate?
Like what I feel, I'll just tell to them, like face to face. I don't keep it in my head.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you should not keep in your heart, that is one thing. But I think you just make perceptions about the other persons and then you just keep it in your heart. You just don't say it. So we don't need to change that habit actually. It's good if you say what you feel, but the thing is you should feel good. You should not feel bad about anyone. Bad as in you always appreciate the other person, and even if you want to tell them, give them an honest opinion about something, just be little polite. Just be little, you know, it's not the right word to say, but that's how it is. So just be a little manipulative.
Exactly, I say what you said, but the other person, how they take is that in their different style. That's what the thing I just want to say.
Society, you cannot help it.
Yeah.
You are trying your level best to make the other person comfortable, to make the other person understand that if he or she is wrong, then being a friend, being a family member, you are the one, that's your responsibility, who will go and tell them that this is wrong, this is right. Okay? But you cannot change the perception of the other person. You cannot change the way they think, right? And nobody can. So this is not your duty and this is not your problem. That's their problem. I really like your t-shirt which says don't worry. So lovely.
Thank
That's
you,
a
ma'am.
good thing. So just don't worry about the other person.
Thank
Okay?
you, ma'am. Sure.
What they think, what they don't think, you just try your level best. Okay? But what the other person is thinking, you cannot change that. You just can make them understand that this is right, this is wrong. Now it's their choice what they want to perceive out of it. Okay? And I really like your smile also. Keep smiling. Okay, who's next? Anyone else wants to share anything?
Ma'am, I just want to say something for you.
Yes.
I really like the way how you teach the students,
Thank you so much, Sahiti. That's
Yes.
really a compliment and that's really made my day.
Thank you, ma'am. That mean you feel other students more active and attention towards the class, ma'am, to be frank.
Oh, thank you so much, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I just want everybody to involve, I don't want anyone to feel left out because then you don't listen to the other person properly. So I just want everyone, each one of you, and I would love to hear you guys if you guys have any kind of opinion, any kind of question you want to discuss on any kind of topic. I would love to go for that. Okay, so if you can't discuss it here, you can, maybe after the class, if you want me to stay and you want to discuss something, I would love to do that. Okay? So, I also love you guys. This is the best time of my day which I spend with you. Trust me. Alright? Because of last 2 days, my Wi-Fi is not working, so you cannot see me, but I can see all of you. So let's hope it will get fixed as soon as possible, and then we will see each other and talk. All right?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else supposed to say something, wants to say something, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll call it off for today and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Anything you guys want to add? Any one of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead there. What's your name?
Mushan.
Mishan, you're a new student, right?
No, ma'am.
You were there in my class before.
Yes.
Oh, I've not seen you.
But
Okay.
I am absent for last 3 weeks because I am busy
Ah.
with my sister's marriage.
How was the wedding?
Oh, it was very nice, ma'am. But I felt very sad when she went to
I
other
know,
home.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the saddest part when she
Yeah,
I know,
I
I
have
can
only
understand.
one sister, so I felt very sad.
So that's okay. It's normal to feel sad about it, but just think about she's happy now. She's happy after
Yes.
wedding.
She was
That's
very
good, no?
happy.
It's good for her. So just be happy for her.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
yeah, they'll
Actually, I
always
want
be
to
here.
thank you, ma'am, because you are teaching the best lessons. I want to learn.
Oh, thank you so much, dear. I would love
Yeah,
to.
your experience was very nice because these are the best. I don't know how to express it.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Mishan. I would love
Thank
to
you,
hear
ma'am, for
these
sharing
things.
your experience too.
I would love to. And while teaching, whatever comes in my mind, I just say it. So you will hear a lot of experience, my own experiences, undoubtedly.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you,
And I
ma'am.
love your smile also. Keep smiling. Okay.
Thank
I
you,
want to
ma'am.
see each one of you smiling tomorrow. On the camera, smiling. Whether I'm shouting at you, you guys are supposed to smile at me. It's okay with me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, dear. Anyone else? Or shall we call it off? Okay, guys. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully at 2 o'clock. Or please bear with me if it takes some time. Hopefully tomorrow it will be fine. If not, then again we will take the class just like that we did today. And yeah, have a good evening. Enjoy your evening. Keep smiling, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Okay, ma'am. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.